I'm going to have an inbox preview look at this vintage kit here, and also a conversion set that I picked up. This is the Monogram Models Messerschmitt Me-262, and I believe this is the very first original boxing of this particular kit, which was from 1978. It's 1/48 scale, and I'll have a look at the box. We get our nice box art here with the built up model, and it's molded in green, and we get more pictures of the aircraft here. I'm looking for a kit number. Our kit number must be 5410, and on the underside we get a little write-up on the model and just a little bit of information here, and our nice built up plane there with the 1978 date. The conversion, nothing much to it, it's just this box here. I'm not positive if I'm going to use this actually on this kit. The reason why I figure I'll use it on this one is because of the strength of the landing gear. This is quite a lot, like the landing gear is kind of fragile, and this kit, it's quite a lot beefier than some of the other offerings. I'm not sure if it says on here what 262 it's actually for. I'll have a look at this in a minute, but it doesn't really say on the outside. I would assume it's the Tamiya kit, but it should fit any accurate 262 model. So I'll put that aside, and we'll have a look at this vintage kit. I'm not sure if it came bagged or not. Mine didn't come bagged. It was open when I got it. So we have our Monogram poster style fold out instructions, and our colors here for the various ones we need. It doesn't give us a company, it just gives us a general idea of what colors that we're going to need. Fold it open. You can see here there's the way they break them up like they did in the old times. You see various little features, the gun bays, and looks like a full engine in there. Yeah, so there's a full engine you can have. And let's see. Okay, so it looks like it says 25 total steps, and we've got a set of bombs for armaments here also, and the nice canopies, the way they're broken up. And we get I think there's just two, or is there three? No, I think there's a few different options here for our decal options. Some colorful aircraft. It would help to do research on these aircraft, whichever particular one you're going to do. There's tons and tons of information on Messerschmitt 262s out there. You should be able to find these exact aircraft. And on the other side there too. And it shows our rockets here, about painting them. And it's kind of funny. This is it looks like a soft edge camo and a hard edge camo. I thought they were all actually hard edge camo on the top. I didn't know that before. So that's something interesting. And we'll go into the plastic, and you can see the excellent detail that from Monogram. You can see all the various like sections of the aircraft, and you can see the bolts, how they've done them here. Like, my only complaint with any of these old Monogram kits is just the fact that they're raised, and we see that recessed lines as the norm now, and it's just kind of a weird thing. But you can see how delicate the raised lines actually are on here. They're not bad at all. And our little chutes there for the cannons, and the bombs. Bombs are pretty basic. I would probably replace those. But in real life, you can see like they've attempted to put some detail on them, and I mean there really is nothing much to them, but I would probably replace them with something a little nicer. And are just phenomenal cockpit, absolutely amazing. And you can see the instruments and your pedals and whatnot in there. I mean, that's the detail on that is just awesome. And here's one of our, I think they're Mark 108 cannons. And the opposite side here, you can see various like little latches in here. We'll flip it around. Like there's some interior detail in here. It's going to be very hard to see though once it's built. And the detail in our, I'm guessing this is our gun bay. And again, everything looks really nice there. We'll go to the second sprue, the wing. I might just snap it off there. We'll look at the wing. You can see all the fine rivet detail on here. Everybody wants raised rivets these days. They don't ask for raised panel lines, but everyone wants raised rivets, and these older kits have them. So it might be something to look into. Unfortunately, they always put the little information on the outside of the airplane, like as if it was a toy or something. They want you to know who made it, and I wish they would have put them on the inside. And here's our, like where our gear goes. It's nice and thick, and I guess if you don't want the rockets or whatever, you open them up, which is nice. So you're not like stuck with having to put them on there. And then when you fill them in, half the time it's impossible to get rid of the holes, like filling them in properly. And you can see our wheels, really nicely detailed wheels, and our upper wing. Another thing with these Monogram kits you never get is the detail with your like your ailerons and your flaps and that. But if you see the way they put them, it's not just like a scribed line. Like it actually looks like it's a real like aileron in there. You can see how they've done that. Really nice. And here's our rockets, which there's really nothing to them. I would not recommend these. And our engine detail in the actual complete engine itself. Be really nice to wire this one up. And more detail for the engine and the wheels. The gear bay here and our opposite wing. And then you do get a separate rudder, I guess, for the tail, which is kind of different for Monogram, but that's nice that they've done that. And nothing really much in here. So I guess inside the engine, if you decide to open it, there's really not much in there. You'd have to detail something. And then we'll go to our last sprue, and I'll look at some of the loose bits. But look at how awesome those pilots are. I mean, they're better than anything you see today. Like, they hold up with any 3D printed thing you can come up with. Like, they are excellent considering their age. Like, he's even got like the flares around his ankles there for the flare pistol. I mean, you can't really beat these Monogram original figures. Sometimes you'll get sink marks in them, and that's their only kind of drawback. You can see the rag in his hand. And then our racks for the rockets, which is nice that they're separate. And our gun bays here. In the bomb racks, nothing special about them. And so we have detail here. I guess this is where the landing gear, like this is, I think, underneath the cockpit or something where the landing gear goes. I'm not exactly sure. It might be where the gun bay is too. But it's highly detailed in there. Like even this one, like your doors for the gun bay, there's no ejector pin marks in there. Like the ejector pin marks are along the top where you're never going to see them, which is really neat. Like they've engineered them smartly even way back then. And we'll have a look at our cannons here. Like, just excellent detail on these. Like, I would not replace these. Like even with the resin part, I mean, if you wanted to be 100% total accuracy, you might replace them, but they're just excellent. I mean, these would be nice to have displayed with the cannon bay closed, and then have these next to the aircraft on a stand or something. They're perfectly suitable for that. Super detailed. And our tail planes are loose in here. And you can see here how they've made that gap in there. I mean, you could carve it out a little bit, but it's not like just a panel line. It looks like it's a separate piece. And on the other side. And we have our nose here for the cannons. And they're open. They're all completely open. And the flash on this thing, well, because this is an original first release, because I always recommend getting the earliest release you possibly can before it's been released like 100 times. You can see there isn't very much flash on it. Like, these are all perfectly open. You can see the detail around them. And we've got, we've already looked at that. It's like a rocket pylon there. And here's our glass. Their glass work is excellent. Like, it's thick for today's standard, but it's really nice, actually. Especially if you're going to leave the canopy open. And they give you a support brace here because these things are tail sitters. So, I mean, you can get away with that if you want to add something to the nose. And that thick, heavy armored glass that goes on the front. I wish they would have molded that in, but that's fine. I mean, as a separate piece. If the aircraft you're doing doesn't have it, then at least you have the option. So yeah, everything looks great on there. And there's no seam line. Not that there would be because of the way the glass is split anyways. The last piece we have in here for the kit is our decals, which look pretty nice. I would probably not use these. These, I almost guarantee you, like, they look nice enough, but I guarantee you if you put these in water, they would just kind of break apart and you wouldn't be able to use them. You'd have to put a film over them to protect them. And there's like a million different decal sheets out there you can get them, and if you took care of these, you could probably make them work, and they look very good. And you can see I'm not sure if you can see the carrier film. It's got quite heavy carrier film on them though. So that's those. You're also missing the bent cross. I'll just say the bent cross from the tail. I wonder if that's what was originally supposed to go here, because usually you don't see a big gap like this on sheets, and then at the last minute they must have said don't put it on there for some reason. I don't know if it's for sale to Europe, or it would be interesting to know the story on that, but I bet you that's the bent cross was supposed to be here in the original when they were going to do it, and then at the last minute it was pulled. I'm just guessing that, because I don't think Monogram, I believe they do them on other kits of theirs. So we'll have a look at an interesting conversion kit that I picked up. It was at a local store was going out of business, and they had all these little weird things they pulled out from the back, and this was one of the conversions they had, which I think is really, really super cool. It's got these massive engines on it. I'm not really sure what the story on these engines are. Like, if they're, I don't think they would actually be coal-fired engines, but it's obviously just like a paper project, or like a paper project, which this conversion set is the Antares, I believe that's how it's pronounced, model conversion set Me-262 Lorin, which I don't know what that really means. And you can see they're from Argentina. So we'll have a look and see what we get inside. It doesn't tell us on the box what kit we're supposed to be using. I would assume it was the Tamiya kit, because at the time this came out, the Tamiya kit would have been considered the top of the line, even though this Monogram kit I think is perfectly adequate. You can see our instructions, which it gives us pictures here, like schematics on where to put them. It doesn't really give us, well, it says to put nose weight in there. I mean, obviously these things would weigh a ton. Okay, so it does give us a whole history. I'll see if I can put this here. Okay, so it's saying this is actually for the Dragon kit. Okay, I forgot about the Dragon one, because it's not really a memorable kit. So the Revell Monogram Tamiya, so it's just about for any 262, which is kind of nice. And then here's our information if anybody wants to read that. You can pause it and read it. And then cleaning up our parts, and it shows us here. It should be easy enough to figure out, I guess. Let's have a look and see what's actually in here. And I don't, okay, I can pull these out. So you can see they're actually turned aluminum, and this is actually quite heavy. That's really cool. They're really thick and really heavy, and that's why I kind of, the reason why I want to put it on the Monogram kit is because I think it has strong enough landing gear to actually take the weight of this. The other kits, if you were going to put it on the Hobby Boss kit, which was an option also, I think that landing gear would be way too weak just the way it's put in. Unless you bought like a metal landing gear set or something to reinforce it also. Really cool. And then our handful of bits here, the resin, what we'll be fixing to the wing, which depending on what kit you're doing, you just sand it and contour it to the wing. So it's quite interesting. This is like the, what I would call the waffle style resin, where it's very brittle. But it's alright, it seems to be molded really nice. So this is the look, the unbox preview of the Monogram Models Messerschmitt Me-262, the original release of this vintage kit from 1978, and the Antares Models Me-262 Lorin Conversion. So thank you for watching.